All right, everybody, Boilon here back for another video of Marvel Strike Force. It looks like that it is happening, and I'm not the first to talk about this. Well, no, not this time, anyways. I did talk about the Fantastic Four being the next team, a week or so ago, whenever I did that video talking about them before. And it looks like not everything is coming to pass, but most of it is coming. And I think that, these are basically the guaranteed reworks at this point. I would be shocked if it's anything other than the Thing and Human Torch. And it looks like we may, in fact, be getting a new Sue Storm character for Marvel Strike Force, including a few others. That's what I want to talk about in today's video. And also the implications and what it means, right? We were talking about this as an arena. It is an arena team. All the data mines point to this. And how is this possible? How is this going to be possible that they upend the existing arena meta, and what maybe you should start thinking about when it comes to your resources? So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's blow this down. Right, if you didn't see this yet, well, now you are. There is three silhouettes with nothing on the left, but there was a statement like when it was posted, it was like, I swear there was something on the left side, right? Or I swear there was somebody here. So this is just a joke giveaway for Invisible Woman, aka Sue Storm, at this point. And the funny thing is here, based on these, I mean, Reed Richards is very well known for these colors, right? I think, well, I guess that's the original costume. I guess you could say the Fantastic Four costume is kind of like that light blue, right? And then on the right, you can kind of see this kind of spiky, the hair back, that kind of thing. And there was a couple of things that I wanted to say. I'm almost 90% sure this is Franklin Richards, probably like some teenage version or some young adult version or something like that. And so I think that's what it's going to be. But just for funsies, I did punch it into ChatGPT because, they can crowdsource. ChatGPT can crowdsource the internet faster than I can. The thing that I forgot to tell ChatGPT was that, the left is pretty much guaranteed to be Invisible Woman, Sue Storm, and also that we were told that the Human Torch was going to get reworked, which kind of excludes him from being a new character. But I kind of wanted to share with you what ChatGPT said. Anyways, this image appears to be a teaser for upcoming characters in Marvel Strike Force, showing 3 silhouetted figures. While the silhouettes are not definitely labeled, we can make some educated guesses. Now, it thinks that like the left is being bad and grim. I don't even know what it's looking at because there's literally nothing there to go on. There's no character there, so I don't even know how they even got there. But it's because I didn't actually kind of describe it a little bit better. The middle silhouette, light blue background. This figure has a standard human build and is holding an arm out as if about to stretch or strike. This could be Mr. Fantastic Reed Richards, especially if the arm is meant to be seen as elongated. Hard to tell with the silhouette, though if you look at it, you can kind of see that it looks like, one of the hands is stretched around to the back there. You can kind of see this. That's what it looks like to me. If you can kind of see that there, that's what it looks like, in my opinion. Now, as far as the rest of this goes, if we scroll back down to what it said, the right silhouette, purple background, the hairstyle silhouette and slimmer figure might hint at Human Torch Johnny Storm. The hair looks like a bit, so I didn't tell it either, right? At this time, I forgot. But if we go down, I said I would like to correct that the left is probably Sue Storm and intentionally not being there, blah, 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 blah. And then I also said, could the right picture be Franklin Richards from the comics? That's a sharp idea. Let's break it down. The hairstyle spiky or flared up, which could match either Johnny Storm or Franklin Richards in some comic portrayals. Build slender, youthful, potentially consistent with Franklin Richards, especially in his teenage, young adult appearances from the Future Foundation or Powerhouse arcs. His pose, it looks active, perhaps suggesting some kind of energy projection or readiness to act, which matches Franklin's role as a powerful mutant cosmic level character. I also didn't tell it why it's probably, yeah, so I didn't tell it. So, the Human Torch is probably getting getting reworked. So who does that leave for the right image? Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. Searching the web. Let's go. Searching Reddit. It opens the door for the right silhouette to represent Franklin Richards. rather than Johnny Storm with some of the same stuff. Community buzz, Marvel Cinematic Universe alignments. In Marvel Future Fight, both Franklin and his sister Valeria were added alongside Fantastic Four uniforms, suggesting game devs see big potential in these characters. Fans have specifically called for Franklin Richards in Marvel Strike Force, and more recently, we need a lot of Reddit threads that it was just sourcing. MCU confirmation: the upcoming Fantastic Four First Steps film is expected to introduce Franklin Richards as a baby, appears in merchandising. I didn't know this actually, and concept art features Sue Storm holding him. This suggests Marvel is laying groundwork for Franklin's emergence not only in film but possibly across other media, including games like Strike Force. Verdict: with Human Torch being out for rework, the right silhouette is most likely represents Franklin Richards, signaling that Strike Force is expanding into the next generation of the First Family. It's a clever teaser aligning with both the fan anticipation and broader Marvel strategy. Let's stay tuned for official confirmation. But this is a strong bet. Thank you, ChatGPT. You know, don't get too too giddy. But I think, you know, like, I knew that Fantastic Four was coming based on some sources that I had heard from. And I think that kind of doubles back to, like, well, what should we do now, you know, with this upcoming Fantastic Four arena team? Well, we need to hold on to our resources. And that's tough, right? So I'm not going to be talking about the event video until tomorrow. So I do have a video for tomorrow. We're going to be talking about everything you need to know about the Fire Incarnate and all of that stuff. And that does have portions that does require power coring if you want to stay ahead of that leaderboard. So in terms of campaign energy, and in the Omega Red Showcase, the Red Phoenix Showcase, which is going to be going only for 1 week. So only 1 week more of this leaderboard is that going to be relevant for, but then 2 weeks of potentially coring for campaign energy. And if you're doing 400 cores daily for a week, that's a lot of power cores that you're not saving for the Fantastic Four team, which is going to be super, super duper important because it's an arena team. We'll talk about expectations, but as far as power cores go, you typically, unless you have, sometimes you have shitty luck. Like, I normally try to save about 10,000 power cores per character, just in case I got bad luck and I get 6s all the time. Which means that over the course of July, I'm going to need to make sure I have 30,000 power cores because I'm going to want those for the 3 new characters. So this is why, and I'm going to talk about this more in tomorrow's video, why I am not going hard in this next leaderboard, because I want to save my power core reserves for when I need it the most, and it's going to be for this arena team of the Fantastic Four. Now, I just want to talk about arena more broadly, right? You know, this is my offense, but, you know, as far as defenses go, you know, with the exception of Professor X, right? You know, how is it that this team is going? Now, let's just assume one thing, that the reworks are not going to be good for veteran players, right? Let's take a look at let's just think about Ultimus and Silver Surfer. They're trash, right? Barely anyone used them because people were replacing them with mythic characters. So people kept, to some degree, right, Thanos, Gore, and Gladiator for a little while in the meta. And I think that's the kind of expectation, is that these 3 new characters are somehow going to be strong enough to be okay with some other meta mythic or otherwise characters like Null, Odin, Xavier. I mean, I would be flabbergasted and shocked if Xavier got tossed out of them. It's just, that's not happening, right? So you have to assume that these characters are still going to be there to some extent. Which combination, I don't know. But this is why I think that we need to be saving not only our power cores, but our gear as well. Now, I would like to think that both Sue Storm and Reed Richards are going to be bio-based characters. I just can't see it being anything else. Like, it would be, unless they somehow allowed Reed Richards to be a tech character, but if he's still stretching and doing all that stuff, he's got to be bio, right? And so what that means about your bio reserves, as far as that goes, you know, you need to make sure that you're being aware of what you're spending on. Now, if you're working your way towards Xavier, so I'm, for example, going to be I have to take Patriot up for Global Hero. Most likely, the Fantastic Four characters are going to be Hero Cosmic, and that is where I would pause. Right, so whatever you were currently thinking about for Hero Cosmic, that, or even Villain Cosmic, maybe if you were thinking of taking G20 on Gladiator and Gore, something like this, you might want to reconsider your usage of Bio Gear. Now, I don't remember all of the Hero Cosmic characters that I was planning on taking because I'm not quite, that's the end, and I'm not quite there yet. I did already do Odin. I think that kind of left me with Kahori, and which is Mystic, and that's fine. Quasar, which was also Mystic, I guess. And from there, right? Who would those be? And oh, sorry, we have to do Landra. I forgot we have to do Landra. So maybe not Kahori. Maybe we'll just do Kahori. Sorry, or Quasar, and then we'll take a look at these Fantastic Four Arena Team characters because you're going to want to take them to Gear Tier 20. It's just that's it, right? Because otherwise you're getting overpowered by the other players in your arena because of their Gear Tier 20 on their existing characters. So you basically won't be able to use, unless they're just broken as all hell, you're going to need Gear Tier 20 to stop yourself from being overpowered. So that's something that you're going to need to consider. Now, as far as Franklin Richards goes, he could go one of two ways. He could also be bio, and this is a very bio-heavy team, or they are going to make him mutant, even though they kind of debunked him being a mutant in the comics, and this was because he has reality warping abilities, and that he really wanted to be a mutant so bad that he willed it into existence. And I think it was Magneto and Charles Xavier that basically debunked this being a thing in the Krakoa era arcs. I don't know which way they're going to take it with Marvel Strike Force, but what that means for Mutant Gear, though, right, is that maybe that's something that you should be holding on to as well. Now, I think Shadow King was the next character that I was going to upgrade for Villain Cosmic in my lineup on Xavier. But, once again, we're going to need at least 75-75 on the G20s if Franklin Richards is a mutant character. So that might be something that you should think about in terms of, getting a leg up in the arena. Although, of course, this will be within the next month, right, towards the third week of July, that kind of thing, when a character becomes available in the offers. But that is something that you should be conscious about so that you don't blow your resources, and so that when they do come out, that you can G20 them either immediately or pretty close to, because these are characters that are going to be meta for some time, right? There is absolutely no way that they're going to bring out, there's never been in the history of arena teams new characters that have just been bad. Almost all of them have had a year or more shelf life, and this is super, super important to get ahead of and make sure that you guys know about this, saving your gold, saving your training modules, saving your power core, saving your gear for these characters, which I think is going to be largely in the bio, maybe mutant sphere of characters that you're going to need to upgrade. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I am pretty excited for this. And finally, it looks like we might actually get a Fantastic Four team that is going to do all that more in a bag of potato chips. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the event video. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.